What's up, guys? We're here with Angela and Brent. And who's this?
This is Jasper.
Jasper.
Chewing on walnuts.
Yeah. So they're traveling through, they're going through Nashville right now. And we somehow found each other on Van Alert.
Van Alert, yeah.
And they're staying in our driveway. So we thought it'd be really cool to do a little tour.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my 1987 Volkswagen Vanagon. I bought it in July of this last year. Graduated from college in May, and this is kind of always something I've wanted to do for a long time. And so I thought after graduating, now's the perfect time to do it while I'm young before I have to get into career life mode. So first of all, this is Baloo. That's what I named her after Jungle Book. I know Jungle Book, it's a boy, the big cuddly bear, but she's always felt like a her to me. So this was our first addition that's didn't come with the van, I guess, you know, is the awning. It's been great. It's like, it really like extends your home pretty much, you know, when you get posted up in a spot, and it's like it makes your spot go from just the van to like feel like you have a whole room. It's really nice. Toolie box is great for backpacking stuff. Extra blankets, a toolbox with all like necessary tools just in case something happens. I searched forever for a bike rack to go for the Vanagon itself, but they're super expensive, so I just kind of finagled one and it worked out well. This here is my solar shower. My brother helped me build that. We ended up doing this, I think the total cost was $75. And up here, the Westphalia has like a little rack. It's an indent, so you can store more stuff up there. So I have a ladder for me because I'm short, so I use that to get up to my toolie box. All right, so beginning tour inside. All right, so this all came with the Westphalia. That's how they come. Open up top here. We have our stove, propane stove, and our sink. The tank holds 11 gallons. It pumps. It has connected to pump. So here's the valve here. And then there's and the tank is under here, and there's an electric pump that pumps it through and under through here. I know, right? It's nice. It's nice, yeah. So this here used to be the fridge. Originally they come with a fridge inside here. It was just all kind of inefficient, lots of propane. I wanted to save, so we converted it to just cabinetry. So instead of the fridge, I got the Arctic here, which is really nice. And here, just got my utensils and cooking items and all my food under here. A couple shelves. Under here is my book cabinet. I got all my books under here. That's one thing I was really excited about with van life, was just after graduating finally getting to read things that I want to read. This folds out to a table. This comes out like here.
Ooh, that's so smooth.
Which is really nice, yeah. And then under here I have clothes, so we got 2 cabinets under here. Some clothes, more clothes. And then actually underneath my clothes here is where the opening is for the water tank. So I have the option of either filling up through the outside valve to fill up the tank here, or if I'm not in a place that I know has fresh water or I don't feel comfortable with the hose water, I just go to like the Glacier fill stations that are at a lot of gas stations or Walmarts and just fill up the 5-gallon jug and just open it up and empty it into here. And here's a little closet. Got my yoga mat. And it actually does have hanging room, but it's pretty short, you know. Can't really hang too much stuff. Then back here, I have all of my camping gear. So propane, hammock, lantern, my mat that goes in the front. And then back here is a whole mess of things. I have a whole art box full of stuff. So I actually graduated with an art degree and I paint. So I have a whole box full of notebooks and my paintbrushes and aprons and canvases and all sorts of stuff like that, what I use. Up here, we have another bed, so this folds out to a bed as well. This here, which very conveniently sticks in the back, this is my solar panel. What we installed was, obviously, the van has its own starter battery, and we installed an external battery, which is under here, under the driver's seat. And that's connected to this inverter here. So when I'm not driving, I can plug everything into there, and it draws power from the external battery and doesn't take anything from the starter battery. And so when I plug in the solar panel, it plugs right into that external battery and it charges up.
You want to show them how the bed folds out?
Yeah, I can show you the bed fold out if you want.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, there's a pin here, and then it folds down just like this. So, oh, my sweater's down there. Okay. This usually wouldn't be here. This is Brent stuff, but if you see right here, this is the foam padding, and it's rolled up right now, and it's really nice because I just keep the sheet on. At the end of the day, I just roll it up, tuck it back. It's all good, super easy.
Can I wear this hat?
Yeah!
Go for it. It's kind of messed up. I don't know.
This one won't work for me.
There you go. Here, now you got to put your hat on.
Oh God! All right.
Oh, nice! I like that. That's cute. So you've been on the road mostly by yourself.
Yes.
And this is like a 10-day, like I'm off work kind of thing.
Luckily, I snuck away for a paid vacation from my job making wine, which I would have loved to do the whole thing with Ange, but duty calls. We've both traveled through Europe and such and around, but haven't done much of the US, and it's really cool to be able to, you know, especially like driving from state to state, driving through the highways and like really seeing it, it has been quite a treat.
Yeah. And even though he's only been with me 10 days, he's been a huge part of this whole thing in general. Like, he's been such a support system for me. He was actually the one who really pushed me to do this, you know. I remember specifically, I've wanted to do this for a long time, but a year and a half ago, I remember the conversation we had, and I was telling him how badly I wanted to do this adventure before career mode set in, and he put it so plainly and was like, you know, if this is something you really want to do bad enough, then you'll make it happen for yourself. And at the time, I remember thinking, like, yeah, okay, like, easier said than done, you know? And then later on, thinking about the conversation, he was totally right. And so I just kind of put it out into the universe and made it happen. And as soon as I graduated, I got a job, sold my truck, found this on Craigslist, bought it 3 days later, and then the next 6 months, me and him have just put every diamond dollar, well, mostly my diamond dollar, into fixing it. Yeah, your labor.
Not that it's been easy, but it's, you know, we made it happen for sure.
Into making it happen. And then I left the first couple weeks of February, so I'm hitting, you know, almost 2 whole months. Yeah, and then I plan on being gone for another 2 months. I have an obligation back home in California in June, and then depending on where money is, I'll continue on and do the northern west coast.
So you're not working on the road, you're kind of working at home and then going in and out?
Exactly,
okay.
Yeah. So if I decide that it's something I want to do more permanently, then I can figure out work on the road. So, yeah.
When I hear you describe it, I get the impression that you know what you're doing and you've got a plan and you're putting that plan into action.
Pretty much.
And it sounds to me like you have a real direction you're heading.
Yeah.
But what are the times you're sitting in the van thinking, like, what direction am I even going? What are those moments like?
Yeah. You know, the beginning was the hardest. I remember my first national park I went to was Joshua Tree National Park, and I parked and I looked out into the desert and I just started bawling, crying, and it was like the first time I was alone, and I felt so just like vulnerable and alone and kind of scared, honestly, you know, to do this by myself. And slowly but surely it got better, and I became more confident in my decisions and what I was doing, and more comfortable in the fact that I didn't know what I was doing. I guess that kind of sounds like a contradiction a little bit, but if you know what I mean, like, I was comfortable knowing that I didn't know what I was doing, you know what I mean? Like,
has there been any moments that you thought were going to be challenging, but it turns out that they actually aren't?
Jasper. Oh. Amazing. I thought it was going to be really difficult getting her from place to place or having campsites. But it's been a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. National parks, granted, I can't take her on a lot of the trails and stuff like that, but she is allowed on main roads, so, you know, I'll take a walk or take my bike and do sightseeing through national parks and have her run beside me, and it's great, and we love it, and it's fine. You know, I sacrifice a couple trails, you know, that I could have done without her, but it's way worth having her, you know.
And having your companion on the road.
Oh yeah, there's nothing. Yeah,
That's a good thing.
I couldn't really imagine doing it without her, honestly. Yeah. So.
Well, that's good to hear because we're going with our copper. So
that's great.
And like one thing we're so excited for is just
that
to watch.
hat. I forgot you were wearing that hat.
You look great.
Ridiculous.
Like we're really excited to experience van life and like travel through Copper's eyes and watch him take to it and just watch, you know, experience it through him in a way almost. Can you speak to some of the like either wanted and unwanted attention you end up getting with this van traveling around? You pull up, you're living in your awesome van, unwanted or wanted. You can speak to your own experience.
I think we've gotten a little both. We get a lot, especially with this van particularly, and all the stuff around it. You know, we get the shower and the box. We definitely get a lot of looks. It was funny going downtown New Orleans. We definitely got a handful of people being like, "Yeah, I love your van!" Like some drunk people running up, walking alongside, like chatting with us as we're driving. And it's so I think it depends like what you're gonna do as far as like if you plan on doing a lot of stealth camping, this isn't maybe the best van for you because it's like clearly a camper van, like, hippie van. A lot of people see it as that, you know what I mean? And kind of, you know, some people can't, I don't know if she's experienced much of that, but some people can be like, oh, you're this hippie living in your van, you know, like dirty hippie or whatever, but for the most part it's been positive.
Yeah.
At least from what Angela's told me and from what I've experienced personally, people have been super stoked.
I want to know how it's been as a solo female traveler.
Okay, it hasn't been as scary, I guess, as I thought it would be. In the beginning, it was, but I don't think it was the fact that I was a solo female. It was more of just like, I'm personally, as a human, I'm by myself on this trip, on this road trip, going to all these new places. I guess the biggest scare is if something happens to the van and I like break down somewhere.
What's some advice that you would give to like new van lifers?
I would say definitely do a little research before you go, you know. It's such like almost this fairy tale like daydream of I'm just going to get on the road and see where it takes me, but I definitely recommend doing some research. Like have an idea of where you want to go. Have a few, you know, at least have some states in mind. Have maybe some areas, whether or not you're going to end up there or go there, just try and do a little bit of research and you know, and look up websites like free campsites, .net and different outlets like Vanlifers or, you know, YouTube people. Just have resources to come to and to always kind of lean on if you're ever in that situation.
And my answer to that would be, as far as my experience, put more effort than you think you need to into preventative maintenance on the engine and electrical. Buy a little bit bigger battery than you think you need. It's always better to have a bigger solar panel, a little bit more power. And like what we did, like we changed out all the rubber hoses, all the things we didn't necessarily need to, but that like if you're in the middle of Nebraska and your fuel line breaks, you know, you're better off spending a little extra time, like spend another couple weeks at home and put a little more time than you think you need to on the engine.
Or if you don't have that capability, maybe make sure you have a cushion of some cash that you can sit on for safety reasons, you know. Make sure you have that cushion so if something does happen, you can get yourself out of the situation. AAA. Get AAA.
Yeah.
It's a savior.
And where can people find you guys on like social media and stuff? We're making a YouTube.
YouTube channel today, so launch.
You can find me on my Instagram, _A_Lojacono. My last name is LOJACONO. Cool. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I would love to meet you guys.
I'm so glad you guys stumbled upon our backyard.
Couldn't have turned out any better.
I know, honestly. It's amazing. So cool. And we're so stoked for you guys and your adventure and the conversion, and we wish you could see it while we were here, but we'll be following you on Instagram.
We'll meet up sometime.
Yes, definitely. When you're in California, you must hit us up.
Come see us.
And
for sure.
We'll have tons of recommendations.
And make sure you guys follow everyone on Instagram. Follow the family on Instagram. Encourage them to make a YouTube channel. And if they have a YouTube channel, I'll put it in the description box.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.